New information on Destiny Rising, a brand new Destiny game with new heroes, PvP, story missions, strikes, and a possible raid. Let's talk about all the details. So in case you missed it, a Destiny mobile game has been in production and teased for a long time. Back in 2019, it appears Bungie got more than $100 million from NetEase, a Chinese online gaming company, to seemingly create a new project, and it seems it could be this Destiny mobile game. The game post has a great article that details all of this information. The link to that is down below. In the last couple of days, they reported that Destiny Rising had a website that popped up and could be nearing an official release, as that new domain was created along with social media accounts. Earlier this month, Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb revealed that Destiny Rising is being primarily developed by NetEase, with not a lot of people from Bungie working on it. While Bungie's role now is significantly reduced, it appears that wasn't always the case. At the start of Destiny Rising's development, Bungie was heavily involved, to the point where it sought to renegotiate the contract with NetEase to establish a co-development partnership. Apparently that fell through and Bungie had to scale back their involvement. They just provided assets, character models, references, and some parts of the story. Sources tell the game post that Destiny Rising is a third-person shooter and has a variety of gameplay modes that should feel familiar to longtime Destiny fans. The core gameplay includes elements like PvP, strikes, and story missions. The gunplay closely mirrors that of Destiny 2, capturing much of the same look and feel. Apparently there was an additional source that told them there was a raid in the works, but they're unclear if that is actually a thing. Now, one of the big changes to this new Destiny Rising mobile game is that it will focus on hero characters. Players will play as predefined heroes, some of whom will be new to the universe, while others will be recognizable figures from the lore. As for the storyline, they've heard that Destiny Rising is a prequel to Destiny's main story. One source mentioned that the original story was set during the Warlord era, so back during the Dark Age. However, it's unclear if NetEase is still following this direction or if the story has shifted during development. So this is very interesting on multiple fronts. Right off the bat, the big alarm or scary part for me is that Bungie isn't heavily involved with this project anymore, according to this rumor. They originally were granted all of this money by NetEase to create this mobile game, but it now seems it's in their hands, some other development studio, and Bungie is perhaps guiding them along and giving them some advice. Along with this, we don't know what was involved in that contract. NetEase was the company responsible for Diablo Immortal and its monetization tactics, which were terrible. So the same thing could happen here with Destiny Rising if they didn't learn their lesson and they just care about money. It also remains to be seen if they can keep up with this live service development if that's what Destiny Rising is, unless they're just releasing a single story with missions and strikes and don't plan to continue development further. A lot of companies have struggled with live service games, and Bungie is one of the ones that have done it right. So if they're not heavily involved, who knows what could happen. There could be some positives here though. Being a mobile game, I'm sure one of their bigger targets is the mobile audience, clearly. The article mentions some big player base numbers in the Asian markets for mobile titles, and perhaps that's their audience here. Destiny is huge, but if the game does well, it could bring the franchise to many more players and bring their interest possibly even to Destiny 2. What's this Destiny Rising mobile game? Oh, there's actually another whole game that's been going on for 10 years that I can try out on console or PC? Maybe I'll get into that as well. Now, my first thought leans a little more towards the negative for some of those reasons, but there could be some positives that come out of this, along with, showing the game to new players. If done right, the story and setting sounds pretty cool, somewhere we've never been before in Destiny. We've only heard lore about the Dark Ages and the warlords of ruined Earth, the first Risen who had their ghosts, some of whom were terrible, ruthless enemies that controlled castles and people. Whoever's making this game, if they can tell a great story and add to the overall universe, that's a plus in my book. It does mention we will play as hero characters, so for example, maybe one of them would be Warlord Lord Shaxx, maybe Saladin or some of the Iron Lords, and of course it mentions new ones, so who knows. But let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Me personally, I've never been too heavily involved with mobile games, but if Destiny does get a mobile game, we're gonna have to try it out, make some videos on it, and of course discuss the story as we love to do here. I just hope it doesn't go down a similar path like Diablo Immortal and actually adds positive to this game, especially with what it's been going through recently. Those of you who are more familiar with mobile games, maybe you can give us some insight in the comments, but I'm not sure if you can ever connect a controller to your phone and use it to play the game, or if you have to use the mobile controls on the device itself. And keep in mind this would be a third-person shooter rather than a first-person. Destiny has messed around with third-person elements before. Certain weapons like swords, for example, and also areas like the tower is completely third-person, but this is a full third-person shooter. On the NetEase Games website, here's what it said about this partnership and deal back from 2019. Really what this partnership is about is bringing the expertise NetEase has, sharing ideas and allowing us to incubate new ideas, Parsons said. There's no explicit deal to publish our games in China. It's more that they share our passion for games, our passion for building worlds that inspire friendships and building communities, and that's the entire focus of it. Bungie is also looking at the deal as a way to further its ambitions as a global multi-franchise entertainment studio by learning from its new partners' experiences. If only they can see where the studio is now. I don't know how they feel about that, but maybe their game can help something. They sure have a significant amount of experience in mobile we don't have. And one of the things we're really excited about when we met with them is their team has a considerable amount of development expertise and practices, and also processes that I think we can learn from as a company who's trying to make games. In announcing the deal, NetEase noted that Bungie founder and chief creative officer Jason Jones will begin the creation of new worlds. Parsons confirmed the tense of the phrase, saying the studio has been almost entirely focused on building Destiny. Again, look at where we are now, kind of interesting to read this. I mean, they still focus on Destiny 2, they tell us, but we know Marathon's gotta be one of their main projects, right? It's not that we don't have new ideas, things we want to do and concepts we'd like to test out, but ultimately we want to be a global game and entertainment company. We want to be able to build games that are inspiring people from around the world, and this partnership in part will allow us to do that, to begin that incubation and development process in a real way. So this also makes me wonder if this was just for the mobile game, this $100 million investment, or if it was for Bungie's projects which would eventually become Marathon, Gummy Bears, and even some other ones like Matter that they had to can recently because of their failed success. But if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.